Tonight was embarrassing. Once again, we are on national TV. And what do the Bears do on national TV? We fold. We fold. Now, I know a lot of people are going to sit there and blame Mitch, because that's the easy guy to blame. Everybody loves to blame Mitch. Jump in on the hate. Nobody can come up with an opinion for themselves. They're just going to blame Mitch because he's the quarterback. Guess what? Did he play bad? Not really. Not really. He had 2 fumbles. One was his fault. The other one was iffy to say the least. But one was his fault. The one that I'm saying is iffy is the one where he's trying to make a play. Obviously, nobody's open down the field because our playmakers can't get open. They can't. Allen Robinson gets open sometimes, but it's not consistent. Mooney gets open sometimes, not consistent. Miller gets open sometimes, not consistent. We don't do a very good job at creating space. So we have this terrible offensive line that gives Mitch like 3 seconds. They all collapse in on him. Literally everybody's around him. Mitch is trying to break out of it, fumbles the ball. Do I blame Mitch? No, he fumbled the ball in traffic. Traffic that they let get there because nothing opened up downfield in time. He was trying to get out of it, and the offensive line couldn't hold. Offensive line couldn't hold. Is that the only time the offensive line did a bad job tonight? No. They're terrible. They are terrible. He's gotten sacked multiple times. They get back and hit Trubisky multiple times. They've had plays where they'd get a first down on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 14. They had one on that was 3rd and 14. They got a first down, and it gets called back by Charles Leno, number 72, our highest paid offensive lineman. The highest paid offensive lineman, one of the highest ranked offensive linemen, is a fucking bum. He sucks. He's fucking terrible. He's terrible. He has penalty after penalty. His man beats him literally almost every single time off the goddamn line. It gets right past him. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Sam Mustipher doesn't even usually start for us, and he's still better than Charles fucking Leno. Leno is terrible. Terrible. Jermaine Ifedi, terrible. It doesn't help that we have Alex Bars in there. It doesn't help that we have Sam Mustipher in there. Cody Whitehair, he's okay. I mean, he's not having a great year by any means, but our offensive line is dog shit. It's plain and simple. It's dog shit. You wonder why Nick Foles struggled? Because that offensive line was terrible. You wonder why Mitch Trubisky had some turnover issues tonight? Because he fumbled once because of the offensive line. One was on a miscommunication between him and Montgomery, so that is on Trubisky. Don't get me wrong, I am holding him accountable for what he is held accountable for. But the two deep balls, he didn't really have much time, but he had to make the play. The second one is the one that a lot of people were questioning because it was into triple coverage. Mind you, this is 3rd down and long. 3rd down and long, you need a deep ball. You need a first down, especially when you're down by as much as you're down by. You have to make a play. You don't have much time in the pocket, so you throw the ball in triple coverage. Is it necessarily the best decision? No. Not necessarily. But it doesn't help when nobody else on the field is open. It doesn't help when literally you could have had the completion into triple coverage if it was a perfect pass. However, since you're being pressured, it's not a perfect pass. You could have. You could have had it. Was it the right decision? At the time, maybe. I'm not putting that 100% on him. The deep ball at the end of the half, when they threw the deep one, early his first interception, even Nagy said, you know what, that one's on us. We knew that was going to be a deep ball. We're fine with that interception. That was a designed bomb. So both of those interceptions, I really don't blame Trubisky on. Not really. He did go 26 for 46, which seems quite bad, but he had a touchdown dropped twice in the first quarter on their first drive. They threw a jump ball to Allen Robinson. He was able to catch it, but on the way down he lost it. That's not because Allen Robinson missed it. That was a great play on the defensive side of things. Great play from the defensive corners on Green Bay. They stuck through with the contact through the ground, incomplete. But they had one where he threw a dart right into the hands of Cole Kmet, bounced right off of Cole Kmet's hands. He grabs it, and it just swings off Cole Kmet's hands. Everybody thought he fumbled. He didn't fumble. Whatever. Cole Kmet dropped it. Cole Kmet also dropped a pass later on in the evening. Cole Kmet is not the second-round pick that we wanted, the expected. Like I said, if Cole Kmet was worth that second-round pick, he would need to have a big year for us, regardless if we have Jimmy Graham or not. He just hasn't had that year. He hasn't had that year. And to think that we said, you know what, let's go get Cole Kmet, who, by the way, I saw more on the field today than I have all year. I saw him. I don't even really know much of Jimmy Graham until the end. I don't really know where Jimmy Graham was today. He was non-existent. I don't know if they just were playing Cole a lot more, or if Jimmy, I don't know what was happening, but I definitely saw Cole come out on the field a lot more. And obviously it wasn't necessarily the greatest thing. When we have a defense giving up 41 points now, mind you, they gave up 34 because we did have that fumble that I referred to earlier. 34 points for a Bears defense is terrible. The Bears have not given up 40 plus points since 2016. We have not given up 30 points since, or 30 or more points since last December against the Saints. This defense, this ain't the monsters of the Midway. This defense is embarrassing. This defense, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. We have Chuck Pagano running this shit like, I don't even know. I feel like this man's fucking blind. He sits there, he's like, let's run his own defense against Aaron Rodgers that picked apart his own defense last week, towards the end of the game when they were running zone on him. Not just that we have his own defense, but let's also rush 3 guys and move Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack back into coverage to cover up Devontae Adams in some scenarios. Let's also not assign Kyle Fuller or Jalen Johnson to the best receiver in the league, in some people's opinion, Devontae Adams. Let's actually run a zone on him, so when he comes on a crossing route, let's have Danny Trevathan cover him, as if Danny Trevathan isn't having a bad year in coverage as it is. The defensive scheme is shit. It is complete dog shit. Terrible. You got situations where you got Buster Screen lining up against Devontae Adams. Now, he did an okay job. It wasn't the worst game of Buster's career. It's actually one of the better ones for a Bear. He was able to somewhat stick with Devontae Adams, but I don't know why he necessarily. I would have assigned Fuller to him. I don't know. I don't even know. We couldn't stop the run. I don't know what's happening, man. I don't know. The team sucks. Part of it is because the play calling is miserable. The defensive play calling was god-awful. I don't know why we're running a zone defense. I don't know where this aggressive defense from 2018 that would get at people and make them force errors, make mistakes. I don't know where that defense went. Chuck Pagano completely threw that shit out of the bed. He was like, you know what? Let's just run zone defense. Let's be a conservative defense. Let's not take risks. Let's not rush in too many people. Let's not play aggressive on corners. Let's play them back in coverage. Bend but don't break, which is a stupid motto. No, you need to stop them. I don't care about bending and don't breaking. You broke tonight because you were bending. If you get bent enough, you will break. You got to force Rodgers to make an error. You had 0 hits on Aaron Rodgers today. 0. You were paying Khalil Mack how much money? How much money is Khalil Mack getting paid? And he can't get 1 hit? I don't even ask for a sack. We had 0 quarterback hits. He dropped back 8 times due to pressure, and we hit him 0. We didn't hit him once. Not a single fucking time. Not a single fucking time did we hit Aaron Rodgers. But this is an elite level defense. Since when? I've said it from the beginning of this year. This defense is not as good as it once was. You failed to make the proper adjustments in the offseason. You said, you know what? Jalen Johnson's going to be our only adjustment at corner. We're not going to go get us another slot corner. Buster Screen's going to be fine for us. I'm not going to get any more help in the secondary at all. We're not going to adjust the fact that we're moving back Robert Quinn, who is a primary pass rusher, along with Khalil Mack as a primary pass rusher, so that they are not necessarily so aggressive as they were in their other systems. We're going to move them back, maybe play a little bit of coverage. We're going to have them maybe just create a little bit of disruption. We're not going to rush them off the edge. Why? We're not going to have Kyle Fuller press. We're not going to have Jalen Johnson press. We're not going to have Eddie Jackson sit deep like he was in 2018 to make the big plays when inevitably they would overthrow him. Or inevitably they would underthrow him. And who's there? Eddie Jackson. I don't know. This defense is terrible. The offense looked a whole lot better than what it's been under Nick Foles. Last 3 weeks of Nick Foles heading into our bye, he threw 4 touchdowns, and all 4 of them he didn't score a single touchdown in the last game of the bye, or before the bye. The 2 games before the last game, before the bye, he had 2 touchdowns each game. So he had a total of 4 in the last 3 weeks of playing football. Nick Foles did. Trubisky had 3 in 1 game. Yes, he had 2 interceptions. Yes, he had a fumble. But those were really errors that he couldn't control much. He was trying to make a play when they're down. Get over it. Get over it. Nick Foles would have been in the same situation. I guarantee Nick Foles would have done worse. Guaranteed it. Trubisky got 3 touchdowns. He had 6 coming in tonight. He had 3 interceptions coming in tonight. He's at 5 interceptions on the year now. He's at 9 touchdowns on the year. I don't necessarily remember what Nick Foles' interceptions are, but I do know he went into this game, or at least he ended before the bye with 10 touchdowns. He played 8 games. He's played 8 games, Nick Foles has. And he has 10. Trubisky's played 4, and he has 9. 1 less in half the games. I don't know how smart you guys are. Maybe you're good at math. Maybe you're not. But if you can do the math, and I can do it right here for you in case you need. So we're going to have 9 that Trubisky's done in 4 games. That's 2.25 touchdowns a game for Trubisky, compared to 10 divided by 8. 1.25. So he's averaging, I don't know, about a whole touchdown more than Nick Foles. But continue to shit on the quarterback, because that's going to help things when your defense is giving up 34 points on their own. And don't you dare say, well, it's because the offense couldn't get things going. Really? First 2 drives of the game, when the defense should be at their best. Drive all the way down the field before the offense really ever did anything. They didn't give him a bad field position. They didn't do any of that. That's their fault. That's the offense's fault. Not necessarily. I didn't want to come in here and get angry yet. I've tried to keep a nice tone today. And hopefully it's worked. Hopefully I've spoken to some of you. Because a lot of people, they don't see the things that go on. They like to see the obvious thing. Oh, he had 2 interceptions. He's terrible. One was a design deep ball. If you look at the other play, what else was he going to do? It's 3rd and long. He has pressure on him. Nobody's open. He's got to throw it somewhere. He's not taking a sack. He's not Nick Foles. He's going to do punt the ball? No, they're getting the ball back either way at that point. Throw the ball. Who cares if you get the interception? At that point, you're making the right play. At that point, you're making the right play. Sure, it hurts your stats. Sure, it hurts your fantasy teams. But guess what? Who gives a fuck? You tried to make the play. And it didn't work out. Whatever. It's better than what Foles would have done. That's simple. I honestly don't know if we scored a touchdown if Nick Foles played today. We scored 25 points. Did they all necessarily matter? Not really. But we scored 25 points. And while we scored 25 points, we did have a 100-yard rusher in David Montgomery. Maybe we use him more. Hopefully we do. Because he averaged about 10 yards a carry. But he carried the ball 11 times. Trubisky threw it 46. I don't know if you guys can do the math, but 10 yards per carry average is better than throwing the ball 46 times for 200 and something yards. I think it was 40 something yards. By the way, Trubisky did throw for more yards than Aaron Rodgers, just saying. But it makes sense to run the ball. Run the ball. David Montgomery should have no excuse not to have 18 to 19 to 20 touches a game out of the backfield. No excuse, especially if he's putting up those numbers. This one's on Nagy for not facilitating the run. This one's on Pagano for not telling his defense how to play defense. Yes, you can blame the offensive line. I did think that they were a little bit better. I guess that might be because Mitch is more mobile than Nick, so he wasn't getting sacked. Obviously, the fumble was a terrible defense or offensive lineman play. I honestly don't know how you fix the team. Like I've said multiple times, you need an offensive line. You need some secondary members. You need to have the right defensive coordinator in the system. You need to have the right head coach in the system. I don't know how much of Bill Lazor's play calling is actually his play calling, but it seemed like today was a little bit more legit than what happened with last time out. It seemed a little bit more legit with Lazor. I feel like this might have been a more Lazor called game, and it looked better. it looked better than what it's been. Can't argue that. It has looked better. It was shaky, but it looked better. We're 5-6. We were 5-1 at one point. We went on 5 straight losses. Let Mitch run the season, man. Let him run throughout the season. Going back to Foles isn't going to work. Mitch gave us somewhat of a fighting chance. More of a fighting chance than Nick. We were ever going to win this game? Probably not. I don't care if Nick was in there. I don't care. Hell, we could have had Tom Brady in there. We could have had Mahomes in there. I don't care who the fuck we had in there. Our offensive lines are garbage. Our playmakers don't get open quick enough. It's just a shit show. That simple. I really don't know who you put in this system that works. And I'm probably going to... I feel probably pretty confident, unless for some reason Mitch goes on a 5-0 run for the rest of the year, which is probably a long shot considering we still got Green Bay again. But Mitch is probably not back next season. Okay, my guy's gone, whatever. Nick, I believe he has some sort of opt-out, or we have some sort of opt-out on him. He might not be back next season. Okay, so what do? We start to think maybe we're going to draft a quarterback. Maybe you're Kyle Trask, maybe you're Trey Lance, whatever. What do we do when we get them? Yeah, sure, they have big arms. Sure, they have mobility. Sure. But what the fuck do you want them to do? Get sacked? Throw an interception? Throw it underneath to Montgomery a few times? They don't have any playmakers. They don't have any offensive line. It's not going to change until we change other things. It doesn't matter who we have at quarterback. So please, Chicago, fix the fucking needs before you address quarterback. Yes, quarterback is a big need on your team, but I don't think that is your biggest need. You aren't setting up your quarterbacks for success. You are actually setting them up for failure. You have a shitty O-line. You have a shitty playmaker room. Your tight ends, Jimmy Graham's, In red zone, he's cool. Cole McKmet can't catch. Mooney's cool. Robinson, he's cool, but he's probably not staying. I wouldn't stay. Cordero, he's okay. He's fun to watch. Miller, he's hit or miss. But any Chicago Bear that leaves this team, I wish them nothing but the success, honestly. They ain't leaving like Adrian Amos did after we went on a winning, after everything was all good and all fine. These Chicago Bears that are leaving this team are leaving a team that was 5-1 and went on a 5-game losing streak. They're on the team that has one of the worst offensive units in all of football. They're leaving one of the worst defensive units in all of football. I don't know how we are named. We're number 1 in red zone defense. I don't know how the fuck that happened. Maybe it's because, I don't know, man. They are not good defensively, and they got exposed tonight. But I would not blame anybody from leaving Chicago. I wish you all the best if you do leave Chicago. Mitch, if you go, whatever. Hopefully you go to New England so I can support you a little bit and bring this bad boy with me. Hopefully you don't leave me too far. Hopefully you don't go to some weird ass place like, I don't even fucking know, Jacksonville or some shit. I don't care. Don't go to Green Bay, please. Robinson, I'll still be a fan of yours. Repping the jersey, man. But the best advice I got for everybody is don't come back to Chicago. It's a shit show. Till Nagy's gone, till Pagano's gone, it's a shit show. Virginia McCaskey, I really hope I wake up to news tomorrow that they fired him. I don't think you are the person that would do that, but if you are, I don't care. I would love to be the coach of this team because this team should be better than what it is. It honestly should. So please, if we can, please get rid of these guys. Please, go get yourself anybody. Honestly, anybody that can coach. I don't care who it is. Bring Lovie Smith back from Illinois. They have a shit show going on in college. But I don't care who is the coach. Just make sure that Matt Nagy and Pagano system, or at least change the whole shit. If Pagano and Matt Nagy are going to stay around, they got to change shit. Not on the player side, on their side. But that's what that is. Long reaction, 20 minutes. Bear down. Bear down.